Hello, I'm IBX Toy Cat, and I technically just took a week break from Minecraft. Isn't that fun? It's actually the opposite. I've missed it. I want to play my Let's Play world. I've had some big plans, but you know what else I've had? You know what else has been big? Me. It's Christmas, which means Christmas snacks, and so I want to start this video by showing you something insane I got at a budget grocery store. There is this store that only buys the weird offcuts that no one else wants and sells them just for the cheapest prices they can get, because I'm sure that Walker's Snack Foods are just desperate to get these off their hands. This is gingerbread flavored Doritos, and I got these, and I don't even know what I'm meant to think about these, let alone what I do think about them. So I figured I'd open them, we try them together, and then we'll play some Minecraft. How's that sound? Hello everyone, by the way. I still have a broken PC, but I've started to work out better workarounds for it. I have a big trip planned in the end of January where I'll be gone for long enough that I can send my PC out to someone and hopefully they'll get it back by the time I'm back. Is there a blur on the screen here? Is that a blur on my camera? Do you see that, internet? There's like there's a blur there. Oh, terrible. Anyway, here are my crisps. Doritos. Gingerbread. This smells so good. Oh, I'm excited about them. How's it been going? Big Toy Cat is one of the better corporations out there. Big Toy Cat is here to steal your Doritos. Oh my... Why did they make these? Oh. Oh, it's so bad. I thought they had to be good, right? Someone at Doritos put a lot of work into these. I've never wanted to not finish a Dorito before. I think this is my first time. So yeah, the limited edition, I've never seen this in a real store. I've only seen it in the weird off-brand supermarket. And I've never had to say this before, but I think genuinely I'm just gonna put the bag down. I don't think it's very good. Eat ginger slop, Toy Cat. I do like that we're starting to call more things slop. I think the term started with AI, right? Like AI slop. But I think it helps us appreciate that, like, yeah, there's a lot of things that are put into the world without, like, consideration for what it exists for. I think we do accidentally call things that are clearly not slop. I think, like, trying is not sloppy. But also, it's kind of a struggle because, like, you know, for Walkers or for Doritos to try a flavor. What do I do with a bag of bad Doritos now? What do I do with these? It's, you know, it's interesting because I feel like taking risks is how you make cool things. But also, how are you ever going to take risks if, when you do so, you lose millions and also everyone mocks you for making a bad product? So I'm going to jump on the Mob Maze server just to see if it's gone any different. I bet it's the same levels recycled every now and then, but I'll see if I'm wrong. You do have a dust particle. Okay, I've got a little camera cloth here. Okay, I'm going to... Chat, this is a little personal, but I'm going to rub you now. I hope you don't mind. I'm asking for consent. If you don't want to be rubbed, you are going to have to shut your eyes. Because right now, I'm going to rub you. So this is definitely not my shirt, so it's here. That's where I need to rub you. So I'm going to give you a good rubbing. Right here. Again, I hope you like the rubbing. Just a little rub. We have not fixed it. I've got some water. Maybe if I put a little bit of water on my little cloth here. Because it is a dusty cloth in its own right. Just a little droplet of water. Maybe that'll solve. Oh no. Oh no, I think I'm making it worse. Why is that dead pixels? It's probably not dead pixels. Hee, that tickles. Okay, somehow that is worse than responses saying I don't want to be rubbed. Somehow saying I really enjoy the rubbing. It's tickling me. You know what? Making me realize the variety that is the internet. How are you doing, Toy Cat? It's great. Thank you, Ahmed. Good to see you, by the way. Oh, yeah. Here's me, by the way. Look at me. I am a mob ready to maze. Yeah, a Shattered Stronghold. I think that's the same maze that already existed. So it's a few pre-cut pieces continuously existing. Yeah, I don't know why. There's a... It could be, like, on my webcam back behind all of this. Let me see if I can't... That's weird. That's really weird. Now it feels like there's a bit of a blur. And it still exists. There's a... Okay, yeah, we're gonna get really crazy on this now, chat. Okay, so... I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna... find the webcam. And we're gonna rub it nice and proper. Okay, there you go. Are you being rubbed right now? Okay. Is it gone? No, but I've made a bigger one, it seems. Okay, so what if we... Well, I guess that's a fact of life that I should never have pointed out. Also, cool shirt, thank you. Look, I got it at the Bones tour in 2005. Oh, look, we're playing. Okay, internet. I am going to play some Minecraft briefly. Yeah, look at this. I am zooming around. Oh, so it's this maze again. So it literally is... There's only a few mazes you can do. And then the mazes kind of repeat over and over again. Are there secrets to be found? Because if there are, then I think it's cool they repeat. But if there's no, like, genuine secrets... Oh, okay, what's up in here? Let's go find out. If there's no genuine secrets, then I'm not sure it's worth doing. POV, Toycat's pinning you down and rubbing your face. Okay. So that is that. Again, it's mildly disappointed, but it's a whole thing. Speaking of being a whole thing, here are all my my worlds from the country video. I'm glad people are enjoying that as much as they are, by the way. It definitely makes me appreciate that some of my big projects are worth pursuing. I think you have like one poor performing high effort video, like my Minecoins video is a good example, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do that again. Don't rub us, Andrew. I will rub you as much as I like. I'll poke you too. You can't stop me. A live stream of Toycat rubbing one out. You know, this is the cancellation speedrun. See how well it goes. Chat, you know, maybe the Doritos weren't so bad. I've got a whole bag of them. Maybe if I try one from the bottom where there's more flavor, I'll like them more. I'll give it a good lick. Anyway, so chat, this is my last stream of 2025. Oh. This is my last stream of 2025. Exactly. It's a big deal, I agree, Hayden Gostomy. And the reason for that is that obviously tomorrow is New Year's Eve. And I think I'm going to have my most chill New Year's Eve in a while. But I think I am still going to celebrate it. Yeah, chat, you know, actually, I think I have some complicated emotions. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have started speaking about it if I didn't feel like I knew. Chat, yeah, I've hosted a New Year's Eve party for the last, I don't know, like, most of a decade. With, like, one exception here and there. And, yeah, basically I hosted the party recently, and it took it out of me, and I was like, okay, I'll attend, you know, like someone else's, but I'm not gonna host for a bit. I'm gonna take a bit of time to heal and learn or whatever. And yeah, I guess what I have learned from that process is, and you know, one of the things from that is like, oh yeah, there's now a little empty gulf, you know. There's to some extent, there's like two reasons to host, right? One is for other people, and a part of it is that, like, you know, you do feel good when you do something for other people, which is partially like, you know, like the whole reason this channel exists, right? It might seem sometimes like, oh yeah, some of the videos are just like, this is exactly what I wanted to do in Minecraft today. But sometimes I have a little joy in trying to come up with something where it's like, yeah, I bet people would enjoy that. And so I do the things that are not necessarily my first choice, but yet are a choice. Solid proof that chips are perfectly made, because when they taste bad and when they're in front of you, you want to grab another one. Yeah, it's true. I think it's, whereas, you know, you put a bad drink in front of me, when I don't like it, I'm not going to drink any more of it. Fortunately, I have a good drink today. But yeah, I did something pretty crazy this year. I took an actual week off around Christmas. I haven't done that since I was like, I don't know, like 20. I haven't done it in a good decade or so. It used to be one of my favorite bits of Christmas. But, oh my god. I think, honestly, I think so much of my life just took a real sharp, you know, like a lot of my life like flipped around in COVID, and it's not like truly unflipped. And my upload schedule was kind of the same. Like, oh yeah, you know, I used to be really good at being recorded in advance, but because in the, you know, during COVID, life got messy, and then post-COVID, there was this huge, you know, I don't know if it was, I wouldn't say it was related, but there was this huge, like, drop in views and what felt to me like an existential threat to the channel, where it's like, yeah, if we record a video a week in advance, that video won't be good in that week. I think there's still also a goblet of green screen. Do you like my goblet of green screen? But, yeah, I think over the last year, I've gone through this real, kind of like putting things back together in a stable place. And it's been big for the YouTube channel. I think we are starting to like, I'm starting to find like a consistent happy place for the channel again, like we had before. That's like so crucial to me. Again, there's nothing that is crazier as a creator than feeling like you're sure this is a great idea, putting a bunch of work into it, and then, you know, not only losing all your time, but losing some money and subscribers as well. It's a scary thing that as a result, I got really anxious about. Like, you can't prepare a video a week in advance because you don't know what it will be like next week. But I think we've now found a steady place. Either the YouTube game has stabilized, you know, to a broadly lower but now more, I think, at least enjoyable place. The YouTube game has stabilized a little bit, and also, I think I've now stabilized, in my opinion, off it, in that I think I can make better stuff by having more days to produce some things and less for others. I think some content, I think the Let's Plays are a great example. People love that. It still takes like an hour and a half to like get my thoughts lined up, to get an idea of what I'm going to do lined up. But it's like really rewarding to see people loving that like old style of Let's Play. Same with the members only Let's Plays. So it's been a big year of change, but as a result, I took a week off around Christmas this year, from the 22nd till yesterday. And we only missed 1 day, maybe 2 days of uploading. And we'll probably miss today. Just poor life planning on my behalf. We'll probably miss today as well, because I figured this stream would be a better thing than a video. Probably wrongly. But the result is I got to have this like true time off for the first time in a while. And it was kind of nice. I was in Canada, as indeed James Sanford asks, how was Canada? Canada was good. Thank you for asking. My tools are so broken, and I'm not spending enough time actually fixing them. I think I probably should spend some time in the Blaze farm again. I don't like XP grinding, but I like broken tools even less. It's that's a new little conflict I've come into, it seems. But yeah, I think the. Also, what are you drinking? Your IBX Toy Cat goblet? My IBX Toy Moose goblet, I think you mean. Yeah, I took some time off, and it really gave me some opportunity to reflect, some opportunity to think and be excited. And yeah, my plan for New Year is really pretty loose. I'm just gonna go out. There's a friend. One by one, I think my longest term friends have become a little bit. Also, is that a random chunk there? Did I leave my world open? And no, that's got to be a random. That's got to be a ghost chunk, right? Or is it not? I've never seen one that close before, but it is. It is. It's just a ghost chunk. Nothing to worry. New merch idea, the IBX Toy Goblet. Yeah, one of the things I had to sit and consider on was the card chat. Like I said, I think there's always fear before releasing something into the world. What is interesting is we got a bunch of merch sales for other stuff this month. Like, I think our biggest month in a while. I mean, like, we sold, like, 20 items or something. But, yeah, we've sold 150 cards, which means there's still no... I have to get that up to 500, basically. That is my... I will have done something valuable. And so now that puts us... That means that one of my big... I've got till the 9th to work it out. I think I want to do a big stream where, like, every card purchased is something crazy. That is my, like... That needs to be... you know, like, if I don't do that, there is a lot of... Again, it's the same kind of thing I was talking about. Like, there is a big loss, basically. Thankfully, everyone still gets their cards, but at no value to me, which is fine. But I would ideally, you know, get to make a little bit of money on them. And so, yeah, I think we're going to do some fun skits in the videos this week. I think that, like, promoting the... I think to promote something again and again, it has to be done in a different way. So I've had some fun ideas for that. And also, I will be turning 21 on the 4th, no longer having to rely on the cashier knowing me personally to buy alcohol in the States. So why... The cashier knew you personally and was willing to break the law because she knew you? That's interesting, huh? I would have guessed the opposite is how that would have gone down. Okay, so here I am at the top of my world. Let's work out what we're going to do during this stream chat. So I've got a few ideas. A few things come to my mind. Good to see you, Generic Ego, by the way, and Wayne, and indeed Ivory on Shake. I guess the first thing I should do is this is something I've been putting off forever, so it's the hardest thing to do. Let's do it first. My to-do list has been a little bit unfunky. So current projects, I still have this as a current project, I would say. Although, yeah, it's still a current project. Whereas future projects I want to do, my Lava River, no longer in here, right? Got that done. So we'll put that sign back over there. And then we can say current project is the Lava River. Lava River. I also think that the Bankery is a silly idea, but I think we have realistically done it. So let's instead change this to be invert iceberg biome. Invert icebergs. And then we can remove this sign and then put it down back over here. I think that looks decent. I think SS will be confusing. We can remove that. I have also done my easy access to the Warp Forest. Or I think I did it. But last time I went, it was still a Crimson Forest. So I'll remove it anyway. I'm pretty sure we got that done. And we've also got enough Warp Stem to put some more signs up should we want to. Also, I kind of like the idea of this all being in my book. I have a little book right here, the project book, where in theory I'm meant to store my projects and my project ideas. But clearly I don't. Also, what am I... Is that crafting tables? It's got to be fletching tables, I guess. With every tip of £2 or more, Toycat eats a Dorito chip. Yeah, what's a good idea? Have you considered building the card in Minecraft? I have not considered that. That's a great idea, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of things to think about, I guess. Honestly, yeah, one of the things so I've come back from like a week away. And you know, one of my first thoughts, this is like, again, this is one of those thoughts you're not meant to share with the internet, but I'm just going to do it anyway, chat. One of my first thoughts on getting back, you know, and like having to like get into the room of things again, was like, I don't think I like the talking to people part of my job very much. Like, I think too much of my job involves talking to too many people. Which is like an important thing for me. Like, I'm trying to, as the business matures, work out how we can like be better to the people that work on this stuff. I think that's like an important thing, obviously. But it's also just like hard for me. I guess in the same reason it's hard for me to like host. I'm having this like real social draining that's happening this year, and it's tricky. So, Toycat, what do you think of Minecraft not making 2 e-chests combine like a regular chest? If they did, then when you place down one later, it would cause you problems, right? Like you would, if you had 2 ender chests and then you place something in the second slot, you wouldn't be able to access it without placing a double ender chest, and so it seemed like the stuff had gone missing. So you've got to have ender chests be a single chest. Or I would say you could make them a double chest, but within a single chest. But I don't think most people seem to care about that. Does that include us, lol? I think maybe on the streaming front. I think, hear that chat? Rouge Streamer doesn't like talking to us. No, I think my idea of a holiday, you know, like, I took the week off, and it's like, and so I'm gonna take the week off talking to people, and I accidentally, like, like, that's a hard thing to actually do, and also you do like talking to people, just kind of like at the right times, right? I have an immediate like stress response when I get a message that I need to like either wean out of myself or like work out why that is. Because that can't be good, right? Make a video essay about how BX Toy Cat is evil and just wants our money and hates us. I mean, no, yeah, I literally didn't mean stream though, chat. I really enjoy this outlet of talking to people. It is one of my favorite things to do. Sometimes I'm in real life and I'm like, yeah, this would be easier if you guys would chat. You know, this is a great topic. Chat, I had a really silly one. But I started to talk to you know, some family-in-law about like I don't know, they were complaining that it was hot outside. No, they were complaining it was cold outside. And therefore that because we were in a car, we were outside and so we were cold. But I kind of took it as like, are we outside? That's an interesting viewpoint. Because I don't know that I would call a car outside. But, like, is a car inside? Is a convertible outside? You know, I enjoy doing that, and they were just having none of it. They're like, no. What matters is we are cold, and we are not outside. That is that. And I was like, but is it not a little interesting to think about it? And yeah, the answer is no, apparently. But it's because we can't really talk Limphao. No, wait, no. I agree with you. You are so smart, and you say the best things, says Adam Sony. Thank you very much. That was exactly what I was thinking. You know, I didn't want to say it myself, but I'm glad someone is saying it. You know, maybe that's it though. I do think there's a certain element. I think talking to yourself occasionally in controlled bursts probably is healthy. I think if we're being really. Also, is that a guardian? No, it's a turtle. Equally confusing, but much more manageable. If we're being really real, right? I think a lot of what a therapist is basically getting you to ask yourself the right questions more than it's anything else. I think a lot of why people need it is because they find themselves unable to ask the right questions. Because they, you know, you're so wrapped up in being you that you don't know how to not be you. You're so wrapped up in being you that you don't even think about what you is. You know, if you think about being in the car and you know, you're so busy thinking about whether the car is hot, then maybe you don't think about, like, is the car outside? Is the car, you know, is the car naturally cold because it's outside, or is it naturally warm because it's inside? Is you know, is a house without a roof, is that still inside? Is a house without sides and inside? Is an umbrella inside? Because if not, if you had a house and you opened all the windows, would that be inside still? Because it's the same thing, right? If you had really big windows, floor-to-ceiling windows, and you opened those, would you be inside? I ask hypotheticals my husband all the time, and he's like, I would not be in that situation. It drives me nuts. I love hypotheticals. Yeah, I know. That is. I know exactly what you mean. It's like, I think for some people, I do think though it's one of the big, you know, like I guess if you really think about my example, I said like you're busy thinking about what is inside and what is outside that you don't think about. You're so busy thinking about whether the car's hot, but really, if you're busy thinking about whether it's inside or outside, you don't solve the actual problem of like, well, it is cold. My hands are still cold. How do I fix that? Which is probably the more important problem, you know, the ultimately speaking. Also, I would go to a Toy Cat meetup if Toy Cat made a convention. You know, Paluki, there is a Toy Cat meetup. It's called the Cool Cat Club. and you can join it with around 443-ish people. If you're inside a vehicle, you're inside. Yeah, exactly. You're inside a vehicle, Cat Beanie. But what if you're inside like a smart car? You know, like a two-person, or even one of those one-person vehicles. You know the ones they're really popular in the Netherlands. I forget the names for them, but there is a type of one-person vehicle. Are you still outside? Are you still inside if you're in a vehicle that small? I don't know. It feels like maybe not, right? It feels like it's possible the answer is no. Also, this cave comes so perfectly near there that I think we maybe should just, like, make this the new cave. Like, tunnel through this a bit. Like, just a bit, just to tie it in there. Tunnel through this a little bit. And then just have the tunnel go off to the left here. Nice to finally catch a Toy Cat stream. Michael Hayes, I'm glad you could catch it too. Merry stream ending. Oh, it's not Christmas anymore. Merry 2025. It's crazy this is the end of the year, huh? A circle has two sides, the inside and the outside. You know, so if I put myself, think about it then, right? If it has doors and windows and I can sleep inside of it, it has an inside. Okay, so it has to have windows to be an inside, does it? If you go into a shed, is that inside? You know, a shed with no windows. If you're standing outside on a street, you're still inside the city. Yeah, inside and outside is all relative, right? Like, you can be inside the city, but yet outside a building. You could be inside a building outside the city. You can be inside a building outside the city, inside the country, outside the European Union, inside the broader human civilization that we've all built together here. It's I think a tent is the best middle ground. Yeah, a tent will really get you thinking about where things start and end, right? Where does the world start and end if you're in a tent? I don't know that there's a good answer to that. A shed is definitely inside. What about a shed that has like a bunch of panels missing? So my shed, it's like it came with the house. It came here when I moved in. It has like quite a few. The ceilings coming in, the sides are missing a few panels. Let's say, is the shed inside? Am I inside the stream? No, I think you're outside the stream. I think you're in viewing distance of the stream. I think you're over there and I'm over here. I'm inside the stream, presumably inside a house. If I open my windows though and I get a big draft in here, am I still inside? A shed is just a can extension of the house. What if you build the shed in the middle of nowhere by itself though, Cat? Is a hazmat suit inside? Exactly, yeah. If the hazmat suit has a door and has windows, which it does, there's a zipper to get in and there's a window to look out. Is the hazmat suit inside? If so, if the hazmat suit is inside, then surely my clothes are inside. I'm inside clothes right now, which is true. I am inside my clothes. But I'm not inside my house if the windows are open. Anyway, what about a barn? Do you sleep outside or in the barn or inside the barn? Oh, yeah. I think the barn is inside for a sheep. I think sheep rarely see... I think there's a roof at least 2 walls. I'd say it's inside. So the hazmat suit is inside. Well, if you're in the hazmat suit and you're inside a shed, which is inside like a big store, are you inside 3 times? You know? Or is it just the same as if you were in the shed in the store, which is the same as if you were in the store? Surely there's different levels to inside. Why do we not have a phrase for when you're more or less inside? You know, like these are questions worth asking. If you have bad insulation, it gets cold in the side all the time. Am I really inside? Very good question. Oh, there's a big cave down here. Should I leave this open? Yeah, but maybe I'll glass it up. I think if I have glass, that would be a good idea. Anyway, yeah, were you born in a barn? It's inside. Yeah, that's a good point. Using a popular phrase to prove how the rules work. Very valid approach. And it proves that, yeah, inside a barn is inside. Because you're born in the barn. Are we outside of 2026 right now? Yeah, you can be inside quite metaphorical things, like a city, obviously. But, like, you can be... the fact that I'm inside a stream is kind of confusing, right? Why don't they discuss this in Parliament? It's important. Exactly, maths for morons. I'm glad you get it. It's a deep and very serious topic, if you ask me. So yeah, we're going to tunnel through this because this is my orange line. I think, yeah, this is the orange line of the metro. It was on my to-do list, and I'm doing it. Like the hero I am. But yeah, I think talking to yourself is important, chat. Maybe not about what inside is, because you could ponder that forever. But I do also think that it's, you know, like, are you inside your own head right now? It depends what you are, right? If I'm my brain, I'm inside my head. But if I'm my heart, I'm not inside my head. But if I'm kind of if we believe, as most of us do, that we're kind of some metaphorical being that's more than just our head, because you can be brain dead but still alive. You know, that's not dead. If you are inside your head and your head is dead, then you should be dead. But you are not dead. A person with a brain that will never recover is still alive. So if I am not inside my head, right? Because my head can die and I can be alive. I'm not my heart either, though. My heart can't die and I still be alive, but I could be on an external machine, and we wouldn't say that I'm the external machine. So I'm some metaphorical being. I'm inside my body, but then if my body is something I can be inside, why do I say I am inside right now, and I don't mean my body? You know, I'm not inside here. I was talking to myself and accidentally said 6'7", never again, said Dasher. Yeah, never talk out loud is the lesson you should take from that. Where are you? Inside the hazmat suit wouldn't make sense, so inside a location. Is inside a location or a state of mind? Well, I mean, saying where are you inside the house isn't very useful. Like, if you ask where I am and I say inside my house, like, I'm being correct, but I'm also being a bit useless, aren't I? So I don't know that that is a good quality all by itself, actually, if we're really getting down to this. Does a set of all sets contain itself? There we go. Large spinning blades. The logical conclusion of this conversation is exactly your thought. But yeah, the reason I think it's important to talk to yourself is like, probably a little bit, not too much, right? Is so that you know, if you are fully in charge of a conversation, where do you take it? At least I think this is true for people who are like and subscribe. Thank you, Ahmed. I agree. You should like and you should subscribe. They are both great options, both massively underutilized, according to me. Okay, so we remove this block, and then we get a torch back, which can go over there. And yeah, we're just trying to make sure this is a flat stone tunnel. It kind of has more beauty with all the extra stone types in it, but I think at the very least dirt shouldn't be here, because dirt is easily replaceable, and so dirt should be replaceable. In fact, let's just get all the dirt though. I think we've proven time and time again that dirt is valuable, and so we find a bunch of it we can take with no issues. I'd be silly not to take it with no issues. We just have to make sure we torch it up after, because you never want to have this cause issues with a farm somewhere else later, because you forgot about it. So we put that in there, and then we just cover this up, pretend it never happened, and oh no, looks like I've worked out conspiracy theories. Also, wow, your tools are almost broken. Yeah, I know. Usually it doesn't get me, but right now it is. Usually I feel like I can't do a big project because my tools are too not there. And that's a shame. That's something I feel like I should fix. So it's something I probably will begin to fix. Yeah, as for this, we'll just like cover those places up. And yeah, I think I'll leave this on the left kind of raised up as I dig through on the right here. A nice little path for the minecart. Hey, happy I found this channel in 2025. It's been a great channel with my forever map. Here's to a great 2026 of IBX. Cheers. Thank you, Raider Dan. Appreciate hearing from you that you found the channel in the great year of 2025. Yeah, I think there's a really interesting, like, personal growth. Future Toycat will XP farm. Now, Toycat will worry. Yeah, having a little bit of that, like, thinking to myself quite rationally, like, okay, if I feel like I can't do any project, and every project is slightly hurt by this, should I go an XP farm? The answer is yes. However, you know, what's actually outweighing that for me is, like, but my job is to do Minecrafty things. If I sat there an XP farm, then probably fewer people would be interested in the stream. Or maybe that's the opposite. Maybe Maybe you come into the stream and you see me doing nothing, and you're like, oh yeah, he's about to talk about whether inside is even real. You know, how can inside be real if our eyes aren't real? You know, maybe that's where people take it. Who am I to say? Also, my shulker boxes are very much filling up, but it's very fine. So dirt, andesite, diorite, just pile it all up in there. I'm glad that we are picking up a ton of dirt from this. Again, feeling like my shovel is getting me some value. But I am now causing the issue of, ooh, what do I do about all of this? So let's just grab some extra torches, put one over there, one over here, and then one out there. And this way we can kind of seal up the tunnel when we're done, without worrying about the dark spots we're causing. Easy peasy. So a good XP farm doesn't require you to spend a lot of time AFK. Oh, I think on Bedrock they do. I think my Blaze farm is my best one, but it's still like you leave the game running for a bit and then you do it. Like there's a funny, it's one of the silliest differences, but Bedrock is way worse for XP farming. Just kind of fundamentally. I actually don't know the full every individual farm has its own silly reason. But the only benefit is that Bedrock has the Trident killers, which people seem to love. Which I think is like it's Bedrock's equivalent of like quasi connectivity. Like I think the farming community will only let you take it with your cold, dead hands. I said that wrong and I'm sticking with it. Okay, so let's now tunnel ourselves out of here incorrectly. Okay, so then place a block over here, and then ooh, gonna need some more stone soon, but that's okay because I'm about to tunnel a lot of stone over here. In fact, should we just tunnel this whole thing down? Yeah, let's just tunnel it down because it's gonna be tunneled over there anyway, and then use the blocks to cover up my mistakes. It doesn't need to exist. No one needs to know that it's there. What about this? Yep, exactly the same thing. Believe it or not. Easy peasy. Wonderful. So, yeah, I think we should go and dump off my chests full of garbage at this point. I'll fix any other problems that I notice here too. I need something to fix my tools, especially my pickaxe. You could also just make a whole nother one, right? It's not an invalid solution. Except in this case, where apparently it is. So we'll just put a dirt block back. And remind myself never to do that again. Ooh, we're getting some very fun music here. So chat, one of my ideas was to build a giant statue out of obsidian. A giant toy cat statue out of obsidian. How good of an idea is that? Also, I can't take a lot of this dirt away without that happening. So sadly, I'll leave this dirt in the ground. And I'll go look for the next patch. I suspect the Minecraft players in chat will respect your need to re-XP-ify your various tools. I like to believe that that is true. Yeah, chat, my one downside of my week off is I have been a little sick. And I think going and doing stuff definitely doesn't help. I think it's gonna be, like, it's so weird. I don't think I ever really get colds, but I think I've had a cold, chat. I think over the long enough time period, I'm starting to get, like, sick at normal person rates. Never used to get sick. Now I get sick, like, once a year. It's crazy. It's crazy how much worse life gets if you're just a little bit sick. Is this the big world border? This is, in fact, the big world border. So if that's the ending point over there, should I just leave it be and then... Yeah, this is a big problem to be worked out by someone else. Evening, sir. How are you? Says Polymush. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I've got plans for tomorrow that are kind of loose. And again, I don't know. There's a part of me that's just feeling like I think this is like something that's really important. Like the easiest track forward sometimes produces like unsatisfying results. And so I think it's really got me thinking about like, okay, 2026. I think I know, like I'll put it this way, like all my favorite times I hang out with friends is always like with like the oldest friends. It's like the lowest maintenance hangouts. It's like, let's go. and hang out. No stress about when. You know, like, you ever have this thing, chat, where you're hanging out and you're like, you know, when this ends, that will be nice. I don't know how to, like, put that in more polite terms. But I feel like I never get that with my oldest friends. But I think also, like, you know, I naturally have quite a, I don't know how to put it, like, quite a, not fragile, but definitely a group that, like, falls apart in its own ways. Is there any reason for this to go all the way up and then just go immediately right back down? I don't think there is. I think I could flatten this entire thing and make a big old tool thing from it. Having our Christmas tomorrow, actually, as my Lils is just home for a few days. Oh, you're having Christmas on New Year's Eve? Wow. That's very flip-side heady. But yeah, it's making me realize that I think I need to really prioritize finding, like, an easy version of that, you know? Like, oh yeah, let's just hang out. Let's, you know, not stressed about the details. Like, we know we will have a fun time. Because, yeah, a lot of my, like, I think I mentioned this before. I have a couple of friends who literally vanished off the face of the earth. And where no one I've spoken to knows where they are. No one, like, it's, I think it's a very guy thing to do. And I actually get it. Like, I really get the desire. That, like, if you get yourself, like, trapped in a rut, just, like, roll over, re-roll. Like, but I also think it's like, okay, this is, the only logical response is to do that. Is trading for bottles of XP a bad source of XP? Yeah, I think it actually is Minecraft Red. I think it's great in that it's AFK and you can bring the bottles with you. But I think in terms of how much XP we're actually getting, it's not super effective. Okay, so let's run through this tunnel. I think we might need to remove these blocks on the left. Presumably one of these is going to lead to some water at some point. But if it doesn't, then we'll make the world a slightly nicer place with no real worry. Yeah, I have a couple friends who just vanished. Actually, 3 now that I think about it. One of them, I'm sure, like, I don't have any other friends who keep up with them. So maybe they just, like, you know, stopped saying, you know, hi. Stop being as interested in doing stuff. And then, you know, it's like the normal, like, phase out. But a couple of friends, it's like, yeah. Everyone I speak to is like, I have no idea where that person is. And maybe I never will. Which is kind of crazy to think about. But I do think it's like a really, you know, for me at least, it's nice to know that, like, yeah, if you really had to just go missing, enough people would just be like, yeah, chill. That you don't have to, like, stress about it. That's me. I vanished off the face of the earth. Also, I changed my number. Yes, I changed my number, being on social media. Now I don't give out my new number. Life is super quiet now. So you see that? Do you see that as a pure positive, Raider Dan? Are there any downsides to life being quiet? Because I do think you can so easily get trapped in this, like, oh yeah, I hang out with people where I'm not really, where by the time we're done hanging out, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, it's an interesting thing that way, isn't it? I guess I think it's the interesting struggle that, like, the reason I think that most people do best at finding friends when they're at a workplace or school, it's because if you find friends any other way, you think you're looking for a friend, but really you're looking for, like, something specific. I don't know what the something specific is. In your case, it's gonna be different. But I think like, you know, you might want someone to, I don't know, play video games with. I used to play games with a lot of friends, like both. Oh, this goes literally up to the surface. I think it'd be fun then to go down below the surface here and just have there be a giant gap below the surface. Oh yeah, this dirt is literally just surface dirt that is, yeah, this is silly. I'm going to stop buying this. No, I'm not. I'm going to commit to the bit. I can get as much dirt as I want from the surface down here. And as long as I make it look like an intentional project, it'll confuse anyone who downloads the world and who has a creeper explode up here. Sometimes hating Facebook can be confused with vanishing, ironically. Oh yeah, this, okay, you know, this is I want to talk about this. This is one of the most interesting social media options. Also, half and half, when I'm done talking to people I do like, I feel like I've said something wrong. Oh, that sounds like an anxiety problem. I think that's like I think it's the hardest thing to turn off. But like, I stress a lot sometimes about stuff like that. And then you just realize, like, the worst that happens is someone like says to someone else like, "Ooh, did you hear? Dan said that I shouldn't have got an abortion when I did." What does Dan know? Sorry, I'm using the most extreme example possible there. But like you get the idea that like that's probably the worst that comes from it. If they want to hang out again, or even if they agree to hang out again, if they don't actively seek, then like they probably don't hate you too much. I assume. That's how I take it. Maybe incorrectly. I stopped using Facebook to avoid people I used to know. Yeah, it's the. I think that's a very common move. I think Facebook in particular has there's like an easiest path forward type of person you find on Facebook. It'd be like if the only way you met friends was, well, I don't know, like I think an interesting case of this is like I've heard like more than one woman say the way they meet friends is they go on dating apps, and then they just like start dating people, and then they break it off, and that part. I think it's or they start dating people, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Wow, do you want to just be friends? And then they just be friends, and I think that's like a really good way. I think that shows the problem of like if you find friends that way, you will find a lot of friends, but they will all be particularly it's really good for building a circle from which you can maybe date. You might find a friend of a friend in that way. But also when those people start like settling down themselves, you might find a struggle. In the same way that if you find a group of friends exclusively to play D&D with or something, then as you stop playing D&D, it might be a struggle because, for some people, maybe that is the fun way to hang out, and hanging out and just catching up with life is boring, Catching up with life is what normal people do. It's an interesting struggle, I guess. I'm just going to put this in there. And I'm going to have to sort this second shulker box myself. Oh, this is my dirt box. Why do I have a dirt box on me right now? What was I going to take all this dirt to do? There must have been something. But I can't tell you what it was. Friends because of shared interests. Yeah, so there's friends because there's a lot of, like, circles of it, I guess. And I think the true way to find like good friends is like in terms of like just the way that is good for you and also is good for all the other things. Probably is like to just say like, yeah, we are friends and so we will meet every X amount of time. Like having the regularity. Because I think the reason a lot of people have their best friends from a work or school is because you're just around each other a bunch of time. So you're not like both scheming about like, I will get from this relationship better dating prospects, ha ha ha. I will get from this relationship someone who will play D&D with me, even though I might be a little bit unsufferable in terms of whatever the case may be. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I say whatever the case may be too much. Maybe I should say whatever the case may not be. So let's now put our iron down here. It is a bit of the split we're causing. I've got too much coal ore, chat. I need to... either I get a second ore chest... Oh. Either I get a second ore chest, or I need to... Which, to be fair, let's dump some of the iron in here. I need to get either a second ore chest, or I need to start using the ores. Moose juice sounds disgusting. What would that be? In North America, they have Moose Tracks as one of their like go-to flavors of ice cream. I'm not sure I could tell you exactly what Moose Tracks is, but I could tell you people do like it. It's not a hard thing to do, but friends should really add value to each other. If that isn't the case, they're not really friends. Yeah, that is. I think it's the weird world, I guess, of like, the most important advice I would give for anyone about relationships is like, you kind of can define for yourself what a relationship should be, and as long as you and your partner both agree, it's no big deal, really. I think there's a similar thing about like friendships, but that is what makes it kind of complicated if you're in the market. Anyway, yeah. So I think my 2026 goal on that is like be a better regular source, both to like friends who want to stay regular or whatever, but also to, you know, like add some new. I guess like to put it this way, right? In my mind, the perfect number of friends to have is the number of people you'd want to see all in one room at one time. What's the point in having another friend beyond that? It's going to be my idea. Especially if it's any amount of work to do. But because, you know, some of my friends vanish off the grid, and because, you know, as people get more life plans in the way, that gets trickier to do. Facebook depends on how any given group chooses to approach it. Once politics took over, Jing's quickly took from being I'm pro to I hate anyone who likes. I stepped off Facebook. Yeah, the same was true for Twitter. All good social media. This is a really interesting phrase I heard recently. All good social media gets you laid, and then hopefully later gets you paid. Right? Like, the only reason to make social media posts is for social status. Again, I'm gonna just we'll leave aside the fact that not for a lot of people, obviously that is not the end goal. But like, the social status is a really important part of social media for a lot of people early on. Like, you're connecting with people, you're building social connections. It's crazy because now social media is like endless scrolling for most people, but it all spawns from that, like, here is a social connection that I need to have. And then at some point in the system, you work out, like, the most effective way to do that is with emotions, anger, and strength, and all that other stuff. Also, okay, but for that number for me is, like, 2. Yeah, the number for me, I think, is, like, 5 or 6. Maybe 9. Maybe 8. No, 8 every now and again. I think, like, for an average social hangout, it's, like, 3. But there's different types of social hangout, right? Yeah, I think it's especially hard when you think about, like, friends liking each other. Because, like, I think my 10 closest people in my life don't really get along that great with each other. How do you make that work, internet? So yeah, this is my XP farm, chat. I sit here, and then blazes spawn. I haven't used it in a while. It could have broken, to be fair. Also, how are iron bars still broken? I mean, I guess they have bigger issues to deal with. This is called Z fighting. It's one of the dumbest bugs that Minecraft has. Because it exists for quite a few things. So 3 blazes just spawned, and now I get 30 XP from that. No, 4. Wow. So if I sit here where they can't see me, oh, I can see through myself. See, chat, I actually think this is awesome. I like dithering, and I know that's a controversial take. Oh yeah, look at this. So weird. I like dithering quite a lot, to be honest with you. I don't like the way this is happening. Look, there's my face. There, it's gone. So if I just sit here... Interestingly, they're only slowly getting in there. But I sit here for long enough, and eventually I'll get enough XP. I don't think I've ever seen this thing in your world. You must never use it. Definitely not in the last year or 2. It's the best source of AFK XP. Because blazes are a really good source of XP. So I only got 1 that time. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they all eventually end up down here. This is how much I've used it, if you're curious. And so just to show you what it looks like in action, I'm going to hit a bunch of enemies a few times so I can switch out to my pickaxe. Oh, where's my shovel, chat? Oh, it's so dead. Okay, we switch out to the shovel, and look how much faster that goes up. It's like straight up in there. Compared to like my trading farm. It operates a lot faster, is what I'm saying. And then also we get blaze rods, which, like, these have got to be useful for something. Chat, what would you do with so many blaze rods? But yeah, I think it's I think friends are a really good value add to your life, but it's also really hard because you've got to make sure you add to their life. And actually doing that is really hard for a lot of people. Like, I think one of the things I like to be for people is, I had a friend mention this recently, like, how do you find these places, Andrew? It's like, oh, I'm just really, it's one of my favorite things is to find cool places for people where they're like, wow, I would not have found this by myself. Because it's something I I've enjoyed finding in the past. It's not what you want all the time. It's not the only thing you want from a friend, but it's like in the same way that I love when I get a comment on this channel that's like, I started my long-term world because of your videos. I'm like, awesome. You're gonna love it. You're in for a good time, you know? So yeah, I don't want to have this like naked back flank here. High efficiency fuel for furnaces. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. Is that all I'm gonna get from them though? Like, I guess in my desert they'd be good for that. But it's about all I can think of. I started my long-term world because of PewDiePie, says David Solomano. Is that really true? That is fascinating. But yeah, I also good to see you, David. Merry New Year. I had a wonderful time in northeastern North America. Isn't it crazy? I don't know. Like if you live in one of the northeastern states, the New Englands of the world, look at a map and see just how far northeast North America goes from there. It blows my mind. Also, I'm confused. Do the blazes sink through the lava? So victory shout. The blazes spawn in here, then the lava pushes them towards right in front of me, and then if they're not doing anything, they fall through the lava river. There is a lava just up there. And then they sit here where I can kill them. And as they die, they drop XP, which is obviously very useful for me, because then I can put it on my shovel. And you can see I'm now at like 2 shovel ticks already. So unlike my trading farm, which is really great because it gives me emeralds as well, this just gives me very fast XP. Oh, there's a blaze in here. I have no idea how he got that, but I'm glad I am alive. It also uses a bunch of hunger, interestingly. But yeah, we're going to wait for a lot of this to be in there, and then we can move on. I got back into Minecraft because of PewDiePie, started my long-term world because of Toycat. Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the things. But also, I don't think I could run an entire channel off that one feeling, and I don't think people would subscribe to me solely because they would start a world by watching my videos. You know? Like, having a channel you watch because you want to start a long-term world. Like, presumably you watch it once, maybe a second time if you feel like you messed up on the first time. Yeah, like, working out how you add value to people's lives is a really hard one. It's something you think about a lot if you run a business. Like, if you're an employee, you're lucky. You just have to add value to your employer's life. You don't even really have to add value to your business's life. I had a sponsorship request from a company I really liked, chat. They came to me, and I was like, oh, I love your services. We could make something great happen from this. And, like, because, like, literally, it would have been far better. Like, they'd already approached me. I gave them a low rate. I gave them, like, a lot of other things that I said, like, would work, make this work. And they never really, they never got back to me because, like, you know, for the person to justify to their boss, like, oh, we've taken on 50 YouTubers, they picked someone by some other metric, right? Someone who probably did not like the company, who didn't do as good of a read as I would have done, because I would excitedly talk about this company anyway. You know, it's the equivalent of me getting sponsored by, you know, it's the equivalent of me getting sponsored by Mountain Dew, or the equivalent of me getting sponsored by a lobster roll. Luke's Lobster Roll was going to sponsor you. Thank you for bailing me out there as I'm looking for an example. Yeah, it was on that level. But yeah, because their job isn't to care about the company, they only have to add value to their boss, and adding value to their boss doesn't mean doing that. But it, which has always been an interesting thing to me, like, for certain employed people. Like, that you don't have to care about how your business works or adds value to the world. You know, there's a bunch of employees who work at Facebook who actively remove value from that company. There's a bunch of employees that work at Doritos that are making these things. Hundreds of people were involved in the process of this, and it's worked out that even as I give them my 50p or whatever this was, that I feel like I've been scammed. I would like my refund, walkers. Please do give them to me. So I can't get sponsored by lesbians. I do love lesbians. I use them on a daily basis. How much is a membership? I've missed so many philosophical Let's Plays. YouTube memberships vary by your region, but it's all the same rough pricing at about $5 a month. You should convince one. I'm convinced LNMs are suggesting new flavors for snacks, and it goes straight into production, and they all suck. That honestly, I've heard so many people say like, yeah, I am scared AI is clearly going to take all of our jobs. But I think this is the revolution that's coming. It's like, we're all going to have to think a bit more creatively in that way. Like, so many people exist as basically a biological machine, but actually, you know, someone working on this should have gone, ooh, this isn't very good. Should we actually be putting this out? Should we maybe make it taste good before we put it out? But everyone was like, look, I'm not paid to come up with the ideas. I'm not paid to make sure that Walkers doesn't lose money. I'm paid because when they come to me asking for a packaging design and they say they want a gingerbread on it, I draw a gingerbread, damn it. And you do that enough times up the chain, where people don't care about the end results and just the individual ones, and things start to break a bit. But yeah, like, I feel like entrepreneurs, and even like, if we're being honest, like, there are a lot of functions in the arts. You know, like, probably whoever draws the art for these things probably, you know, like, does have a mind of like, yeah, let's work out what would actually make the world better. And there are some times where the people, you know, I don't know, like, people like me really should not be making decisions, and that's on things like legal compliance and, you know, all sorts of other boring categories. But there are also times where, like, we follow the law, we follow the reasonable way of doing things into an unreasonable place, I guess is my point. Hey, Dominic! He heard how much the membership was, he got hyped, and he got himself one. How much did it cost you, Dominic? That's what I want to know. See, I'm going to kill these wither skeletons just because they're here. I might get a wither skull. Come on. You know, I don't need a wither skull. Maybe I don't even want a wither skull. Okay, I want a wither skull. I'm lying. Okay, back to my XP farm. So, yeah, I by the way, I can't update. I've had, I might just remove the members counter, I guess. Thank you for becoming the 444th member. You said you became a member for the members only Let's Plays. I am starting to realize that is an increasingly prevalent thing. And that is something probably to take. 526 of taxes. You had to pay taxes on it? What do you mean you had to pay taxes on it? Chat, can someone look into that? Let's Play 644.5 is great. Sadly, I can't watch it. Oh, man. You know, it's probably not great. If you can't watch it, it's bad. If you can watch it, it's good. There you go. That's the rule for life. That's the rule for content right there. Yeah, I took out sponsored by coffee. I don't drink coffee. It makes me poop. Like, immediately. All caffeine does, honestly. But just especially coffee. I don't really like the flavor either. My taste buds are slowly dying. So I should be getting bitter senses soon. Not bitter enough for Doritos, clearly, but bitter enough for coffee to become like a flavor I can enjoy. But I definitely don't enjoy all the things that come with that. What's up, Bread and Cheese, says Megaslump. You need to get your username changed so it's Bread and Cheese Man again, Megaslump. That is your big task, friend. 548. Taxes over here in Canada for membership. Why are you paying taxes? Who to? I deserve those taxes. You know, when I say paying the Toy Cat tax, I don't mean to the Canadian government. I don't mean to your local state or county. The king gets the taxes. The only thing about members only Let's Play is that I can't listen to it like a podcast because YouTube won't let you turn off the screen on members content. Wait, is that true? Let's find out. Let's find out. YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna go to my most recent members only Let's Play. It's not Let's Talk About Christmas. It is oh, man, how is it? Why is it so hard to find your own video? Okay, there we go. Okay, it's why? Oh no, it's, man, it is impossible to actually find videos without YouTube curating and assuming that you don't want to see something. My complicated relationship with ADHD. Okay, so here's my video.
Let's play. I'm gonna do this one a little raw, so it might come out a bit weird, but
okay, so then we're gonna play the video.
I think in life there are two main categories.
Oh, it works for me.
Like to talk about and
oh,
share.
I shouldn't show you that.
The first category are things that are
But yeah,
very
I've got it in the
professional
mini player.
people. They are very...
Oh, you can mini play it, but you can't turn off your phone.
About and share, and the first category are...
Oh, that's weird. Why would that be true? I'll see if there's a setting I can enable on my channel about that. For what it's... Oh, you can't download them either. Man, everything has a downside these days, huh? I don't know how much tax I pay on memberships, but I pay 129 pesos a month. Screen off, not mini player. Yeah, that's why... Like, why does YouTube just invent features? Like, you know you can't use the mini player on YouTube Kids videos? And it's like, how is that... What are kids gonna do? Are they gonna get groomed in the other window while they're watching their Sonic content or something? When we just start disputing members' content on DVDs for us. That is a really good idea. I was thinking recently of releasing a album for my Minecraft music. I think it's a great idea. Terrible feature, WTH. Yeah, like, it's the same with YouTube is pushing members' content on non-members. And there's a part of me that says, haha, I will get some membership. So it's like, actually, could you promote my videos that, like, people can watch rather than the ones they can't? That's kind of my instinct on that. So I'm going to flip these around, because I think I use my pickaxe way more than my shovel anyway. And we'll try and get the pickaxe up some tiers of health. So from here I can... Honestly, the spear might be really good for, like, killing mobs like this without... Oh yeah, look at that. So yeah, chat, this is my XP farm. I don't use very often, but clearly I should. Go, go, go. Kill, kill, kill. XP, XP, XP. Clearly I should use it, because you don't have to AFK for that long to get a full set of repaired tools. Whereas I think my upper XP farm is pretty good for just, like, keeping tools repaired. Use the spear. Yeah, that's exactly what I was starting to think, yeah. Well, they don't want you to be a member for 1 month and Robinhood yoink all the content for free. Oh, but it's so easy to Robinhood yonk the content for free anyway. And you can already mini play it. Fun fact, I've started listening to extremist music, aka Russian, Syrian, Mustache, German, etc. Because no ads and they're treated as videos, not music content. Yeah, YouTube's music problem is a whole nightmare. Like, YouTube is premium is like 40% more expensive than it needs to be. And then that money just goes to artists anyway. Which I think is the craziest scoop. I love YouTube music, but I want to be able to use... You know, I know this is a boomer opinion. This is a 2008 YouTube watching opinion. But I like using YouTube for my music. You know? Even back in the day, I used to YouTube to MP3 as my way of getting music if I needed to get it off YouTube. But, you know, it's a shame that you can't easily do that, it feels like. Also, yeah, like this. 2 more blazers killed. That's some good XP for my tools right here. I think. Yeah, look, we got up another little XP ball, or another little percent of the bar. I think I probably should just sit here AFK for a bit at the end of the stream. Also, okay, Grandpa, let's walk you to bed now. It is very much my boomery opinion. So yeah, chat. By the way, this is what the glass looks like now that it's empty. You can probably actually see it. I did run out of my Mountain Dew. I found a Mountain Dew soda stream while I was in North America. It was very good. Chat, do you want to talk about the snow a little bit? I had my first snowy Christmas, and it was so cool. Everyone, I feel like if you live in an area where you get snow, you forget just how beautiful it is when the world goes from being normal and cold to being cold, but at least it's beautiful. Actually, I don't know what year you would say had the most amount of individual features you liked, because 2025 was a really great year in terms of that. Yeah, I think I want to talk about how many great features there were in 2025 that aren't really appreciated. Honestly, pal, I think I'm struggling with... there are so many videos I would love to make that I think just people expect to be in short form now. So long form has like an entirely different expectation. You know, and so it's almost like in a long form video, you shouldn't discuss one topic. Also, Snow Christmas, let's go!
Snow Christmas, let's go.
Thank you, David Solomano, for your inflation-adjusted tip. Merry December 30th. Man, it's a crazy stream, huh? Been going for a whole... You know, I should just stream tomorrow night and then say I've streamed for a whole year. I love snow, says Dasher. Yeah, there you go. Live in a snow country. Enjoy snow features. You know, snow problem is what I would say. So last year was my first time seeing snow and probably my best day ever. I made snowballs for the first time in my life. It was amazing. Yeah, it's fun, right? It's a material that's perfect for throwing at people. You know, me and my friends used to throw rocks at each other in the park. I got hit by one real hard in the head, like I was gushing out my wound. And now you know why I make Minecraft videos, first of all. But also, like, yeah, it would have been more fun if we could throw little snowballs and I was like, ah, that's so silly, let me throw one at you. Would have been way better. Make videos as if it's still 2013. Modern video making trends are inferior anyway. I do, that's why I like my Let's Play so much. I think we really evolved backwards in a way that I actually love. I have this really guilty soft spot for it. Snow is awesome, but driving through it isn't fun, says Josh Kund. Yeah, I didn't do any of the driving, actually. I drove an ATV through some snow. I had some fun with that. I actually had a lot of fun with that. I wonder if I can show you the video right now. Yeah, my PC is still beyond broken, chat. But I've got it to the point where I can now do everything just about. I can't back up my PC. I can't reset Windows. I can't use a browser. But I've got a different like I've got enough workarounds. I'm just trying to get the PC going for long enough. Also, if I recall, YouTube used to compress audio beyond recognition up to 2008, 2009. I think people don't care about audio quality in music anyway, though. Like, there is a streaming service for super high quality audio, and literally no one uses it. I mean, I say literally no one. I'm sure enough people use it that clearly it has a user base and artists put their music on there. But very, very few people use it. Okay, let's go crazy, chat. Yeah, this pickaxe is going good. I don't like snow anymore. Like, it's pretty and it's a pain to deal with. Ice is much worse, though. Yeah, ice is scary. I've heard some people call it black ice, but like the ice where you can't see it's there. I guess it's called black ice probably because you see it on black surfaces. I've heard a bunch of shit talk about Windows 11. Is it as bad as they say? Yeah, I don't know whether I blame Windows 11, but I certainly wish I had Windows 10 anyway. It's the thing about operating systems is it's really hard to be sure. It's like an operating system is quite low level. So how do I even know? It could genuinely be that all my issues are because I... Also, I think I'm going to make this into a real map. I think this was beautiful the way this is, but I think a higher resolution map in my Nev would be cool. Hoping for Minecraft have a very spicy and very wooden 2024. Ooh, you got some secret information, Pout? You got some secret scoops to share? Yeah, this rail map just looks like it's missing something, chat. I don't know what it's missing, but I know it's missing something. Maybe I should draw my Xbox 360 borders on there in blue. Yeah, that seems like a good idea to me. Like, have a big border around the world. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for, I think. And then the TU1 bit probably needs to be further out, and maybe a little bit down as well. I don't have any friends. Self-solving problem. Hey, EVL freak. You are probably a bit delayed in the stream, but I like your strategy. Black ice is the hard to see ice, yeah. I mean, if it's actually black, it's not hard to see at all, though, right? That's, like, I would say the problem... The reason you can't see it is... Anyway, I'm so happy I'm on Windows 10, thinking about researching Linux for a potential switch. Yeah, I think I like that idea quite a bit. Again, something is so messed up in my Windows install that I can't even reinstall Windows to fix it. And so I'm gonna send it back to the people who built my PC, and it's their responsibility to test it, because apparently it's covered by the warranty. But it's like, I don't want to. I just want it to work. And that's like the lamest opinion to have, because of course we all just want things to work all the time. But like in this case, like I really want it to work, you know? Because I don't want to deal with it not working. But in life, you don't get to choose the problems you deal with. And so I have a fun one ahead of me. Have I dyed any of these sheep blue yet? I probably should do that then. I'll pick like brown ones because, you know, I don't know when I needed brown wool, but I certainly have far too much of it. Okay, so blue dye. I'll just grab some lapis. You can't have Linux. You won't have Bedrock on it, unfortunately. Oh yeah, you'd have to get. I'd have to if I got Linux, I would then just put a virtual machine in for Windows, and so it would defeat the point anyway. You're right, actually. Yeah, I can't. I could use Linux if I switched back to console Minecraft, but I think there's too many downsides to that in itself, which is a shame, right? Like my whole channel started with console Minecraft, and now I'm like, yeah, I'd have to pay a monthly subscription if I wanted to go back, and then also accept inferior features. So you can't dye a sheep using lapis. You have to switch to blue dye. Easy. And now we can shear him. And it's his responsibility to go and fix that up. I've got a lot of black... Okay, so grey I think I also don't really care about, so turn those into blue sheep. Give them a good shearing. Life is good. Yeah, File Explorer crashes frequently. Task Manager randomly opens. My games crash a lot. Yeah, so, again, maybe this is me being, like, skeptical to, like, the problematic degree. But, like, how sure can you be you wouldn't have those issues of Windows 10? Because I have a lot of issues of Windows 11, but I've always had issues of Windows. I think these are just my worst level issues. And apparently, I have a CPU that also has some issues that I'd have never known about if, like, Agent Mindstorm didn't happen to know, like, you know, happen to follow processors super closely. It's a really weird thing that we are really aware of issues we are aware of. You know, because I guess it's like, you know, my car recently had a battery issue. The battery issue was actually, there was another issue at the same time, but there was also a battery issue. And so now I'm very aware, like, I better get the car battery filled on a regular basis. I'm trying to run the car like once a week now as opposed to once every, you know, couple weeks. But it's like, I'm solving for the issue I know about. The pulley issue or whatever's in there, it's like, I don't even know how I would prevent that. And so I'm not really preventing it. I'm sure I could put some extra work into that. But I mostly am not, you know? So I'm going to grab a pile of grey wool and a pile of orange dye. And I think I'm just going to mix them. And then I'll put the grey wool back. And I'll grab the orange wool. And then we'll shear our orange sheep again. That's because he has regrown. And then we'll go place this in our tunnel. And then start digging on the other bits. Because I've got a netherite pickaxe that is plenty good. If you're more curious about how bad Windows 11 is, there's lots of YouTubers that cover it. I haven't had a single issue of that with 10. Didn't need to enable Secure Boot and TPM 2.0, which was a giant pain. Oh yeah, the Secure Boot thing. I forgot about that world of issues. I might give Secure Boot a try. I'm at a time in my life where I can't make drastic changes to my workflow, but when summer arrives, I do look forward to switching to Linux. Yeah, this, you're not being able to change your workflow because you're, like, working on something is, like, a perpetual state I find myself in on YouTube. Like, again, I didn't make a video today, and so there is no video today is, like, stressful. It's, like, in my bones. Like, okay, but I wanted to do this thing first. But because I did that thing first, and then I spoke to people, and then because I did all of that, then I didn't get the video. Like, it's really crazy to be like, I need to do stuff, or the world starts to scream at me. And I think when you get locked in that mode, I think, like, being out of that mode every now and then is good. Which is what I liked about Christmas, is it helped me realize, like, okay, I'm really, really focused on the next video at any given point in time. But here are some things I should be focused on. And now I'm hopefully going to focus on those things more. Obviously, I'll still have to focus on the day-to-day fire putting out issues. But, yeah. Every new Windows version is like rearranging your living room. That's a fun way of putting it. I'm pretty sure past Windowses were great too, but I grew up with XP, so to me, that's still the best Windows. Yeah, I liked XP. Everyone hated Vista. I just never had it. I liked 7. I didn't like 8's start menu design. I like 10's a lot better. You did post a short, though. Thank you. Yeah, that was hard, though. The short was ready to go and everything. And then I was like, oh, but this feature doesn't work, so we need to change. we had to remove a bunch of content from the short. And then removing that content from the short made it bug, and then... I don't know, it was a lot of work. it was a surprising amount of work. In a way that it probably shouldn't have been, if I'm being really real. Okay, so I'm going to just tear out all this orange wool now, and we're going to commit to moving it to the other side. That will cause issues with the lava, but I will solve those issues when I get to those issues. Okay, so now let's dig a tunnel over here. I guess we could logically switch over the tunnel at this point, right here. Like, have it go right there, and then switch over here. Just where it won't get burnt by lava. We could even have it, like, we could do something silly and have it move via the ground. Like this. It doesn't make any sense, but it's the way of keeping the line consistent, I guess. And then we'll just keep on running it on the left. I love 10. I wasn't very upset about the 10 update. Oh, I was upset when it happened, because I was like, why are you doing this without my permission? I don't want Windows. Like, it really tried to get you onto 10, whether you wanted it or not. And I don't know, like, it's one of those, like, anti-authority, not authoritarian, anti-authority stance I have of, like, if you want to force me to do something, it's probably something in your interests more than mine. Which is sad, you know, there's a lot of things the world wants to force you to do, which are actually in your own interests too. But, like, I don't know, like, I want to force people not to listen to TikToks. Chat, I want to force people not to listen to TikToks on the train. And really, like, if you're watching TikTok on the train, as long as no one else is watching TikTok on the train, you're much worse off if we force you to stop. Because, like, the only one losing out is you lose your TikTok. It's making everyone else's life better rather than yours. And that's kind of where I felt with Windows 10. Is, you know, like, you know, even though you shouldn't be playing TikToks on the train, if you are playing TikToks on the train, you know, your life gets a substantial downgrade when you lose that. Video idea, convert your world to Java and look how different and surreal it feels. We did that video, Dasher. It is fun after so many years, how many videos, it's like, I have a golden idea and I check my videos and I'm like, I made that video this many years ago. And what's funny is, I think if the video was successful, sometimes I'm like, maybe we should make it again. Like, how to mine for diamonds is like such an evergreen topic. That I think, like, legitimately, it is worth making the video. You know, every couple of years or so. Also, I don't mind people watching TikToks on trains as long as they're using earphones. Oh, no, yeah, I guess I should say on speakerphone. Chat, let me tell you about my, my worst... I say this quite, seriously. Let me talk about my worst plane seatmate I think I might have ever had. And I know that is a very serious claim, but I'm gonna have to back this one up, chat. Okay, so I flew to New York on the 22nd, maybe the 23rd of December, like just before Christmas. And honestly, I loved the airport experience. I fly a lot, and all of the, like, everything was just a little more dead at the airport. Like, security was instant. You know, like, the lounges were empty. You know, usually, like, one of the problems in modern day travel is that, like, the airport is empty and the lounges are full. So if you want somewhere to hang out, you actually go into the terminal. I'd say problem, actually. It's quite a good problem to have. It's like, you know, one of the problems of today's society is that food is too cheap. Is like, I think, not a big problem, right? But, yeah, worse so far. Ooh, that's a big thing to say there, David. But yeah, I had a plane experience I need to tell you about, chat, because I went through a super empty airport and I thought, oh man, the plane's gonna be great. It's gonna be the empty middle seat, maybe even a whole row to myself. It's gonna be a good flight. Yeah, as I checked in, the person at check-in is like, there's no one in the seat next to you. It could change, but it's very late, so it's unlikely to. And I felt great, chat. So I was flying with someone else. We booked the window and the aisle, you know, the classic technique. No one's going to take a middle seat in between those two people if they have a choice. And indeed, that is exactly what I believe happened. But what's weird is I got to the seat and there was someone in the when I got to the seat, there was someone there in the aisle seat. And it was kind of weird. I was like one of the last people to board the plane. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's sat here and he's worked out that he's in the middle. So I'll say like, I literally all I said to him was like, usually I have to have the conversation like, do you want to switch? But he'd already self-switched and I was like, I guess we don't need to have the conversation. So I was like, you know, we're here. And the guy just kind of like, at me in response. Which is like, okay, you know, you don't have to be polite on public transport, I guess. Technically speaking, not a rule. You know, this guy's he's got about to go on a holiday. Maybe he doesn't want to be here or something. But I just accept that that's what it is. And so I'm now in the middle seat, you know, even though I booked an aisle and a thing, because the guy's there, and it's like, you know, it was cheeky of me to book the way that I did to try and get a free middle seat. Because a free middle seat makes such a big difference to a long flight. You know, New York is like 8 hours away. But there's a guy there, it's fine. A part of me is like, why does this guy exist? And the more reasonable part of me is like, yeah, he booked a seat like everyone else, and that's totally fine. But then this guy, I have to get up to like put my bag away or something. And again, the guy, no response. He just, like, vaguely shifts this way, so I have to climb over him and his headphones. Really rough at letting me out of my seat, and it's like, look, if you love aisle so much, the reason you love the aisle is because you know that you don't have to ask anyone to get out of your seat. But also, you should know that, like, therefore, if someone's asking to get out, they're doing so because they really need to, not, you know, it's not a personal inconvenience to you. Wild seatmate thing to do. Even wilder was I get the armrests down. Everyone knows the etiquette. In the middle seat, you're in the worst seat. So in exchange, you get both armrests. I put the armrest down, and the guy's legs are like way over there onto my side, and the armrest really shows that. And the guy like muscles me off my armrest. I swear I'm not joking about this. I have my arms on the armrests, and he goes to get it off. And I'm like, gee, I can't even imagine. You know, if you put that in a piece of fiction. You know, like what someone would do. No one would believe that that's what a real person does. Like, that's ridiculous. No one's gonna muscle you off the armrest. This man did precisely that. He wanted the armrest, and he decided it was his already. And so then I have to like go back a little bit further. It was a whole nightmare. And then when I thought the seatmate next to me couldn't get any worse, amazingly he did, because at some point during the flight, I have no idea how. But like an hour before landing, he starts watching TikToks out loud. And what's funny is I work out, he's got a wife, like to his right, like in the next aisle over. And there's an empty seat next to his wife. And I remember back to the conversation at check-in that like, oh yeah, there shouldn't be anyone assigned for this seat next to you. This guy has taken a seat that isn't his. He wasn't booked here. He was definitely booked next to his wife. And he's just decided he wants an aisle. And so he's taken it. And I'm just... I realized far too late into this flight that like, this guy, this worst seatmate ever, isn't even meant to be there. He's taken the seat. The empty middle seat that I desired, that I was dreaming of, is by this northern man, by the way. Just you know, not to make it a not to make it a UK divide thing, but this man clearly from somewhere up north. He is the worst seatmate ever, and he's not even meant to be there. And that's why I'm now gonna always start with like, I'm just gonna say, here is my seat, and here is my other seat. Really reassure myself before being like, and would you like to switch? Rather than just folding over to like, this guy assumes he wants my seat, and therefore, I guess I might as well give it to him. Because maybe he doesn't have your seat, you know? Maybe there's just a guy chancing his luck at trying to... And, you know, I think that is like the example of like, yeah, basic etiquette that is easily forgotten about. It is really easy just to say, like, you know what? I want a more comfortable flight. Why don't I just screw over some stranger in the same way that you might somewhere else? Maybe he was doing a social experiment. I think he was trying to be the most annoying seatmate. And he was upset that he wasn't getting a response, so he had to start watching TikTok. Again, on a plane, chat. On a plane. Do you know, it costs money for the Wi-Fi. I cannot imagine a world, because this is a fun thing. Starlink is coming to planes now. There's going to be a new world of, like, plane etiquette that people are going to have to work out. Because, like, yeah, you are going to have to seriously think about, if everyone has access to the Wi-Fi, how do you tell people how do you actually get people not to listen to TikToks out loud? Accurate accents are so hard to do. Oh yeah, lad, I'm from up north. I have a bit of a drinking problem. Man, this guy drank so much, by the way. Every time he was offered a drink, he was going for one. When he wasn't offered a drink, he went for one anyone. This man saw the flight as a way to have the most space possible and to drink the most alcohol he could. You know, he paid 300 quid for his ticket, and he's gonna make sure you get the value from it. He's from, like, Newcastle or something. I'm doing my accent entirely wrong for it. Maybe he recognized you and just hates Minecraft. He's like, I follow one of your tutorials, I reckon, and I couldn't find the diamonds at all. I mean, I was watching the 2019 tutorial where it said not accurate as of 1.20, but I reckon that the video shouldn't have been up, and so I'm gonna take all your legroom, mate. I don't know what this accent is, chat. He's probably mad at his wife. Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot more sense than anything else that I can picture for sure. So we're gonna go all the way down here, picking up all of that. I think if we go another... Okay, we can go a layer deeper, and it won't cause us too many problems. And then we'll just patch up the holes that we create down here. Because again, there's no point having dirt underneath all this stuff anyway. I don't think. Especially if I need that dirt anyway. So let's now grab another... I think I have like 17 loose torches in here still. No, I don't. I used all those 17 torches. Use a lot of torches in this business, huh? His son plays too much Minecraft and he hates Minecraft YouTubers. You know, and this is why I'm calling for Minecraft YouTubers to be a protected class of person. We should not be discriminated like this just because we need to fly to other countries. Crying 1-year-old to the left, TikTok brain rot and toddler to the right, the future of flying. I mean, the good news is that there's not going to be any more 1-year-olds, right? We're done as a civilization on having children. Which is like a wild thing to really... I don't think I've really thought about how the future will be on that level. Like, if you live in a Western... If you don't live in an African or South... if you don't live in a South Asian or African nation, you will have fewer children as a percent of your population over the rest of your lifetime, with very few exceptions, maybe immigration. Maybe you move somewhere where there's more children, but as a country, the number of children is going to go down massively. That's going to have some wild knock-on effects that I can't even picture right now. So I need to fix that up, I think. I mean, I could just place that there. You know, I'm just going to stack up, actually. It's a lot easier. Okay, so if I just place that block there, then now I can remove all of these. And it just makes the place feel a little bit more airy, you know? It's like having a little skylight. No! It's like having a skylight for my metro. I hate doing this, chat. Just run it right back through here and remind myself why I'm not doing this. But yeah, slowly but surely, the metro is coming together. Maybe he hate watches, like I hate watched the Chicago 49ers because I wanted the Bears to lose, and they did. You know, I never considered that he's the future's looking pretty grim. Yeah, I mean, weirdly though, right? I think the babies, there's like what's the word for this? There is a huge boom as no children are born because loads of people don't leave the workforce. There's a sudden boom in all of the benefits you get from that. But that boom is then followed by the grimness because a bunch of people who are meant to turn 18 don't exist. So like I think I'm not unique in this, but a lot of boroughs of London, genuinely the population is at the point where it's like there aren't enough children to run these schools anymore. So schools are shutting at like a crazy rate across London. And there's like all sorts of other knock-on effects that come straight from that. Because now those children that aren't going to be in school, in 5 years, they're not going to be in their next school. In the next few years after that, they're not going to be, you know, drinking illicitly on a hill somewhere. You know, the market for cheap vodka is going to go through the floor. You know, the knock-on effect when they turn 18 is like, yeah, there's a bunch of people who, you know, there's a bunch of people who should be entering into jobs that aren't. And then that's when things get grim, because then a bunch of people retire who aren't being replaced. And then the future gets really concerning at that point, I think. I can't even comprehend fully how concerning. But there, yeah, the world is definitely in like a... We are at this like pre-turning point where I think it's a really good time to be retiring because you're being supported by the last generation of people not having kids. It's a really good time to be like exiting the world. You know, you get all the dividends, like stocks are up at high crazy prices. You're getting all the benefits of a society without children, without having to worry about the huge impending downsides. Which, again, I cannot stress enough. Like, those downsides sure are going to be huge. I guess pick this up, pick up all of that, excluding the gravel, maybe. I could pick up the gravel, too. It's great. And then here we go. Bring it home. Maybe with another torch here and another torch over there. That should be plenty of torches. And then we'll just seal it off, and no one will even know that it's there. The beauty of engineering, huh? Maybe school in the future will be done remotely, and that'd be depressing. Yeah. If you get to a point where there are few enough children, like having the schools get far enough apart that eventually you can't even take children to them, right? If your nearest school is 3 hours away, because if it's either 3 hours away or has 7 children, they both have the same outcome. Then yeah, eventually a lot of things will shift to that direction. I did my part for the population and look forward to them having to look after me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, ultimately, again, there's the good reverse of, like, if they don't have children to look after, and they have enough money to look after a dependent, you become their dependent. You get quite a nice little bonus from that, I think. Abraham Lincoln didn't go out to the theaters, even if the FNAF movie is out there. Trust me, that's not the Louis... Wait, what? Oh, okay, you're saying... Okay, I get what... I see your joke, Alan Sony. But, yeah, I think there is a fun... or maybe explicitly not fun. But there is definitely a societal shift coming. So should I make some more... No, I've got some stone and nowhere to put it, chat. Oh, no. I've got 12 extra stone... This double chest is just entirely filled with stone. Got some extra stone and nowhere to put it, which means I guess I'm starting another shulker box just for stone. Which is probably a good sign that I need to work on a bigger Manga Cube, huh? Manga Cube? Or maybe I've just got to do something silly with this stone. What can I do with this many blocks of stone? So this is... I think you get 1,700 to a shulker box. 64... Yeah, 1,700. So we've got about 8,500 in those shulker boxes. Another 3,400 in here. How can I place 12,000 stone blocks, chat? What's the solution to that? I don't know the solution, but I would like the solution. I think we should just start filling this one, maybe. 12 stone, yeah. I've got a lot of empty shulker boxes, which is nice. I'm gonna go place these right over here. One here, one here, one over, and then we'll place this coarse dirt box back. No idea why I have that to begin with. And then we're good to go. Also, how about a creeper statue made out of stone? Oh yeah, I have a guardian statue out of stone. It'd be cool to have a few more statues. Little statue garden. Stone pyramid. I do love building desert temples and or pyramids. We could make a really silly sized stone pyramid somewhere. I think having big monuments is a good thing for my big ice boat journey, just to make the thing more notable. Yeah, let's go give it a peek. Let's do some big planning. 2026 is coming. I think planning 2026 is important. And I think that extends to your Minecraft worlds. So let's work it out. And so, building a wall is better. So other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Yeah, that's one of my favorite, silly lines out there. So this is my Catan board. You know, would this be a good place for a giant stone pyramid? Or does it work quite well as an ocean? I certainly think that, like, some of this terrain is so ugly that if it got built over, no one would miss it. But, yeah, It's a weird thing, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to fly over here. These chunks are loaded in, so there's no downside to be doing it. This area of my world feels like it could do with an improvement. But it is old terrain, so I don't have a need to mess with it. Whereas, for example, this area of the world here, I don't come to it very often, but I do go past it a lot. So building something cool just to look at with no extra meaning or purpose actually kind of makes some sense. You know, I built this thing here, and it's silly, it has no purpose, but it's also kind of a cool little monument. I have my big little... My big little is funny way to start a sentence. You know, I've got to make a decision there, clearly. But I've got my lake that I filled with leaves here. And so, maybe just having a big stone pyramid in the middle of this, actually a cool idea. Yeah, I think that's a fun one. Build an airplane with a grumpy, rude alcoholic inside. I did have an idea recently, James. Every time I go inside, like, I had an idea of, like, man, I had an interior designer friend, and every time they say something about how to make a house, I'm like, oh yeah, you think you know how you want a house to look, and then you speak to someone who knows how houses are meant to look, and you're like, yeah, you got to do that. So I think I want to, like, hire someone to, like, interior design. But the problem is it's, like, a very expensive process. And maybe, in the same way that, like, most people just design things by asking people they know, I kind of want to build a scale version of my living room. Maybe not scale, but, like, build a version of my living room in Minecraft. A scale version would be, like, you know, this big. No, it's not 2 by 3 meters. It's probably a bit bigger than that. But, not much bigger. It is London. I was thinking of, like, building a replica of my living room and then asking the internet how it should be arranged. Is that a good idea, chat? You know, actually, I don't care if it's a good idea. I want to do it anyway. I feel like that flying was a little laggy. How's Bedrock been performing lately? Oh, I think this is a realms issue in particular. I can't tell you why, but yeah, can you see it? It's happening right here. Realms has definitely started loading on the cheap. I don't want to be too on the nose. This does feel like the, you know, what many would call the E word of, like, oh yeah, pay the same amount. They haven't raised the price for the service, but they do expect to make the same amount of margin, even though all of their costs have gone up. And so now it's just a bit worse, which is a shame. Like, it's just a bit laggy to load in chunks that haven't been loaded in for a while in particular. I think there's a fun word for why this is. But basically, there's no point of the Minecraft server running chunks that you haven't been in for a while. So it's a laggy process when you do get them up and running. But if we come back now via the same way we came out, does it look laggy still? Yeah, it does. But as soon as we get past this into the old world, where I do come a lot, everything should get fine. Although, no, look at this. Yeah, it's like... Oh. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. Realms are so laggy when the world gets bigger. Yeah, it might eventually be the reason I come back off a realm, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think it's a roundness issue. Because my render distance is so low when I'm on the round, it's definitely not a me issue. Anyone notice that boats are lagging on Bedrock? Oh yeah, it's the fun it's the client-side server. Don't get me. I'm like an old man. Like, don't get me talking about that. Don't talk about the boats. You should know better than to ask an English. You should know. Yeah, I guess actually specifically English. You should know better than to ask someone from England about boats. Don't do it. If you value your sanity, and you value that person's sanity, you don't talk about the boats. Remember Bedrock used to boast about performance? Oh, it's way better just not on a round, right? Like, I'm paying money for my performance to be worse right now. Metro is looking good. Where are you putting your Metro maps? Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle, Senator Dingo. My Metro, it needs some extra something. This isn't good enough to put up by itself. So, I'm definitely thinking... Hey, thank you, Senator Dingo. I'm definitely thinking I want to build that big blue wall Or maybe I'll build the wall out of, like, stone to show that it's stone. But I'm going to build a big wall of some form. I think maybe even white wool would do it. And then I need to, like, show where other major things are. For this to all actually tie in. It's too bad. But yeah, then there's a funny thing. If I don't want to put the maps everywhere until the metro is done. Because then I'll have to go and update it everywhere. So it is an interesting struggle to have. I don't know if it's the Realms or Bedrock, but I keep getting freaked out when chunks pretend to be newly loaded when they're in old places I've built. Yep, that's the Realms problem. Again, it feels like they've massively... It's either a bug, or they've massively had to reduce the costs that they are working to. And it is a bit of a shame if it's the second one. Is it worth taking the Let's Play off a round? Yeah, I think at some point I might have to. It will be a shame. But I think it's the direction we're heading. I forgot how cool I made this entrance, by the way. Ooh, that was weird, huh? Ooh. Wait, if we have the spear next to the map, just for fun here. Oh yeah, that's really weird. Okay, so down here I have a minecart system, but it's not my minecart system. This is... no, it's not. Yeah, logically I have to have this go there. Is this the minecart system? No, it's not. Somewhere in here there is a minecart system. Or there is my big minecart rail connection. Weirdly, I have a zombie spawner that I'm not using. Man, it's cool seeing these like quirks of old generation, huh? They don't make mine shafts like this anymore. Okay, so let's... ooh. Have I ever opened that chest? If I haven't, then I still shouldn't. So let's now get back up here. Oh, bit of a nightmare. And is it over here, maybe? Yeah, there it is. So clearly I need to make it clear that this is the way to go. With a bunch of torches. And then also maybe just put something on the left here to, like, be clear. This is not the way. That's not the way we should go. This is the way we should go. So we'll remove some of these blocks. And I think some arrows would be good for that too. Honestly, I should make some, like, metro signage. I think that'd be really cool to, like, have arrows to, like, indicate where to go. But for this, we'll just put up a simple wall. Like, not this way. Instead, go this way. I don't think I can indicate that any clearer than I am right now. Although, yeah, this coming off the side here is adding to the confusion for sure. So just a few more blocks there, and then some blocks over here too. Should make it a bit easier to see. So yeah, this is my red line, and I still haven't quite worked out where I want this to end. This could be the logical real endpoint, because you come out of here, and you're right at the Catan world border thing. Yeah, but for now, it's probably as far as we want to go. So this is my logical end stop, and where the rails and tracks will stop. So now, man, I've been bitten by too many clouds. I back up extensively. Also, map spear, tell me I have ADHD without telling me I have ADHD. I think I discussed this in the video, but there is a really complicated, like, I think, you know, I discussed this in the video. I asked one of my editors, who said he, actually, we never spoke, but anyway, he said he was, like, really close to the subject. And I was like, make sure I didn't say anything stupid, then upload that. Thank you. Because it is one of those subjects where it's like, yeah, it's not my favorite one to talk about all day, every day. I know you made a video about what it would take you to quit Minecraft, but what do you think it would take you to quit Bedrock specifically? It'd be a nightmare to quit Bedrock specifically because of the fact that my world doesn't convert to Java neatly. Yeah, I also think that if there were an event big enough to make people switch to Java, that they would make Java... They wouldn't take that lying down, you know? If enough people were switching, then they would either reverse, but if they felt like they couldn't reverse for some big reason, then they would likely do other things. What would it take you to quit Earth and move to another planet? You know, great question, David. Clearly, the other planet would need to have lobster rolls. That's an easy requirement. After that, it does get a bit more complicated. Wow. would have asked me, have the shiny diagnosis and everything. Can't believe I did not. Shiny diagnosis. Wow. Yeah, I think that there is... Okay, so... Also, watch the YouTube do a little Minecraft series. He played on PlayStation with bugs and glitches that were just horrible. But as he didn't usually play, he thought it was the game. Yeah, that is the thing about Bedrock. Bedrock can afford to be buggier than Java. Like, when I first switched to Bedrock, I was like, whoa, is Minecraft meant to be this way? And like, 30% of the bugs were fixed, and the other 70% are now my default way of playing Minecraft, such that when I look at Java, I'm like, it is horrifically broken. I think this is something that can't be, like, overstated. Like, if you are used to playing one version, it's the other version that looks broken. And that's why parity is so painful. Is because you are deliberately breaking one version to make it match the other one. Which is kind of fun. So yeah, chat, I think this map... I think I should go for a blue line around the outside. I think that's going to require like 4 stacks of blue. That is fairly cheap to do, though. I'm kind of worried about doing it wrong. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on XP. I think that's going to be my next big goal. My tools just, you know, they're getting in the way of enough stuff. So I'll fix up my shears. I'll fix up this pickaxe as well. Yeah, I've got a lot to fix. I'll start with this pickaxe, actually. It's way more important. And I think that's, I'm going to leave that running AFK, I think, while I work on future video stuff. Tomorrow is a fun day. Maybe my least, like, significant New Year's in a while. Yeah, I don't know, chat. I also think, you know, okay, so here we go. Got a bunch of XP, isn't that nice? Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about, exactly what it is I want from 2026. And I am excited for it. I think I've got some big things. But I think that I'm going to have to, like, start planning things better. And that's scary to me, because a part of me loves the not planned life. I think it's a real luxury to wake up every day and deal with the day as it comes. But I think I'm going to start, like, planning things as they come. Yeah, chat, I had a nightmare recently. Not a nightmare. Let me just show you. So, I'm just going to get a clock. Does Google have a clock? No, we have to go to time.is. Okay, I want to get a real clock, though. I want to get a clock with a spinning handle. Okay, I can't... clock live. Why is it so hard to find a clock? It is hard to find content not viewable in your region. Why did the clocks get blocked from the UK? Okay, here's a clock. No. Chat, I'm trying to find you a clock right now. It's very hard to find a clock. Okay, this is... I think I found the wonkiest clock ever, but I'll share it with you anyway. Okay, so this is... can you believe back in the day you used to make money by just setting up a website called Clock? And then the clock... This was... You put ads on the website for David Lloyd clubs. Ooh, I must be doing pretty well if I'm getting David Lloyd clubs advertised to me. I don't know what they are. I just know they're really expensive. The high of having nowhere you'd rather be. Oh, I'm getting ads for Verbo now. And then, oh, it's got music. Oh, perfect. I love this tiny ad having music. I'm going to buy some Verbo after this. I'm getting an ad for an iPhone 16e, though, which I think is the cheap iPhone. And then the ad up here is for London to Dubai. Only 100... So, cheap flights, cheap phones, and expensive gym memberships. Is that what people my age are doing? Ooh, I will draw the person you will marry. That's interesting. Oh, there's another unskippable... Oh, also... Sorry. There's another unskippable video ad behind me for Hotels.com. I thought I had an ad blocker. Yeah, I have an ad blocker turned on. That's great. Also, am I autistic quiz? Wow, the ads are so targeted towards me. Free quiz games. You know, should we find out if I'm autistic, chat? I mean, it only seems reasonable. Ooh, am I beautiful or ugly? Take our IQ test and I'll find out. That's a dim view of the world. Okay, so I can't work out what the quiz. Ooh, am I LGBTQ? Let's find out. I don't think I want to give them my information, so I'm just gonna confirm choices. Okay, what's my gay meter? LGBTQ so quiz. Wow, let's go. Open. Okay, we're back here. Open. We're back here. Close. Oh, you have to close it to open it. Okay, so LGBTQ test. Let's go. Oh, we're back here. All of the ads are for the same website that we're on, and so you can't actually go anywhere from here. Is this meant to be a real website? Am I a free Robux master? I mean, I want to know the answer to that. Let's find out. Okay, so which of the following is necessary to earn Robux? You have to become a Robux premium member. I think. Yeah, I think, right? Okay, what's question 2? Which of the following is a legal way to earn Robux in Roblox? Create and sell custom t-shirts and pants. If you want to design clothes and earn Robux, what skill do you need the most? Basic image editing and uploading knowledge. Okay. After earning Robux from clothing sales, what would you buy first? Game development tool. No! Ah!
Contributions to Toy Cat Lobster Roll Fund. Merry New Year.
Hey! Thank you very much. Merry New Year to you. Merry New Year to me. Merry New Year to us all. Merry New Year to thee. By the way, let's get these shears mended up real good. Or not, actually. Do the shears not have mending on? They do. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We can also get our pickaxe sealed up. Life is going to be good. Okay, look at that. Shears. Ooh, so perfect. Okay, let's get back to up here. So this website doesn't seem like it works. Yeah, it looks like someone built it to serve ads and then hasn't worked out the rest of their business model yet. Okay, so why does Robux not recommend using third-party websites? They're just jealous. Ah, submit. Okay, let's find out. Reward in 13 seconds. If I click here for free Robux, I won't be a Robux master. I want to be a Robux master. Okay. No, oh, yeah! I'm a Robux spender. Style is everything and Robux is my fashion budget. Do I like the results? No. Why does this exist? How are there whole websites? So I guess we'll go back now. We'll hope all the back buttons work. So to go back one, how gay am I? I don't think I need a quiz to know how gay I am. I don't think that'll help me. I'm kind of curious what the questions are. You know what? They've piqued my interest. What are the questions? What drink do I prefer? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've never liked someone of the same sex, and I've never kissed someone of the same sex, but I do have more gay friends, and I do like game night, and my favorite drink is a Cosmopolitan. Okay, so to be clear, chat, I don't like people of the same sex necessarily. I've never kissed a person of the same sex. Oh, actually, if you use sex, only when I'm drunk. And then we get an ad. How do I not? This, oh, I get a reward in 18 seconds. Okay, so we'll play Minecraft to distract ourselves from the quiz timing out. Wait, the last two questions are just, are you gay? The Are You Gay quiz is using scientific data and knowledge to work out if I am gay. And so one of the questions needs to be, are you gay? Okay. So, back into this. I finally can get this reward. Oh, yep, I'm 1% gay. So I might be exploring or enjoying things from a distance. No matter where you land, self-discovery is a journey. Do I like these results? Oh, I hate these results. I wanted to be gayer. Oh, terrible. Okay, so then back one more quiz. Am I beautiful or ugly? Start quiz. Close ad. Okay, which designer would you most like to wear? Guess. I don't know. How many friends do you have? 4 or more. Chat, are you my friends? What's your go-to beauty routine? Oh, I don't know that I have one. What's your fashion style? Oh, I'm not sure. Do I feel comfortable without makeup? Yeah, I would say so. What's your favorite way to boost your confidence? I'm not really that sure, actually. How do you just try and true beauty? Probably confidence and kindness. How many times a day do you brush your teeth? Oh, getting bold on me. I feel like 4 or more is a problem. I think honestly once. I tell my dentist twice, but it's really once. How often do you receive compliments on your looks? Not really, I wouldn't say. How many dresses do you own? Oh, I have to lie here, chat. I'm gonna say 1, but I don't actually own any dresses. I mean, I own a Teletubby onesie. Is that a dress? What's your attitude towards self-love? I struggle with it, I would say. My biggest personality flaw is that I'm too loud. I don't really feel that self-conscious about my appearance. I think I look, no, I don't look good today. I look okay today. Do you enjoy taking selfies? Yeah, sometimes. What's your favorite feature? Oh, my smile? I like my smile. What's your favorite color to wear? Black, I guess, logically. My Avril Lavigne t-shirt is perfect. How many times a month do I go shopping? Oh, none. For sure. What was your favorite subject at school? Also, is it ADHD or high IQ, chat? I wonder. My favorite subject at school was probably maths. My hair is brown. My music is opera, dance. What is? I guess pop. If you really had to pick one of those, it takes me like 5 minutes to get ready in the morning. I like to play the Minecraft note block, which is probably a piano. It bothers me a little when people are negative about my looks. Beauty is subjective. That is true. I go to the dentist every 2 years. People describe my style as being... Oh, they do not describe my style. I'm going to say classic. I wake up feeling meh. I look like... Chat, this is one I'm going to need your help for. Which of these singers do I most look like? I don't know if I'm a Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, or Lady Gaga. If I won the lottery, I would probably buy a bag first to put my money in. My favorite hairstyle is a straight, I guess. I cannot be seen without... I can't be seen without... I mean, I guess a belt. No, I can be seen without a belt. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to be seen without a necklace. You'd all see if I was wearing a necklace. Also, Lady Gaga is what chat says. Okay, so I look most like Lady Gaga. I think kindness is attractive. I didn't wear a colored dress to prom. I didn't go to prom, actually. I'm fairly confident in social situations. And the result... What's the result? I'm super hot! Yeah! Yeah, your boy is super hot. That's me. Yeah, my red dress that I didn't wear to prom. Chat, I am beautiful. And I hope you all know it. Okay, so... Adam Sony said I should take the Is My Period Normal quiz. What's your secret talent? So... I don't see it here, though, sadly. So let's go back. Oh, here we go. So, what will your next gender child be? Okay, let's now go back to the clock. Okay. So now we're here. Oh, am I colorblind though? freequizgames.com. Oh, am I autistic? That's the quiz I click for. Ever wondered if you have autism? Okay, IQ test. Oh, the average score today is pretty high. I don't want to compete against those people. Okay, so chat. I started this whole thought because I was looking at a clock, and it's crazy looking at a clock and realizing how fast the seconds are going by. And so every time there's like a year end like this, I think I have a bit of a mini crisis. Now Where's the autism quiz? I know, right? Okay, so we're gonna switch back out to this. And I think sitting down here wasn't good for the number of blazes I'm getting. But I'll still kill them all anyway. And there we go. Life is good. So thank you very much for watching, chat. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did... Oh, there's a lot of blazes up here. If you enjoyed, don't forget to have a great evening. I don't have a video today, but I should have one tomorrow. And maybe even one the day after that. Thank you for watching. Hey! Just wanted to say, last Toy Cat Tax of 2025. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to say thanks for a great year. Your videos always cheer me up. Here's to 2026. 2026 will be a year, chat. That is my promise to you. Thank you for watching. I'm Toy Cat. You navigate pop-ups like a grandpa. Yeah, I have ad block on every device. I've been trying to work out. I think I like ads have to follow certain rules in my mind. The ads I clicked just now, I was clicking like a boomer on purpose. But I think I finally am at the point where I'm like, I might just buy a VPN subscription that like filters out ads. Even though I would like to support the sites that I'm watching. But like, does Clock.zone need to get 17 ads from me and ruin my experience? Speaking of, let's hit the ad button on YouTube. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you in 2026! Ooh, got some big plans. We'll have to talk about them soon. Goodbye.